I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Entire hour. Are you pouring coffee? Daniel, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
told me that you're 2 minutes away. When are you going to be
In
here?
like five minutes.
5 minutes?
Daniel?
Mm-hmm. Oh! Ladies, we're ready.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Congratulations. When are you due?
Good day with Daniel Bennett.
Good day. Welcome to another episode of Good Day. My name is Daniel Bennett. It is great to have you join us today. And the theme of the show really is that no matter what's going on in the world, you can choose to have a good day. Sometimes I'll start off with a quick little practical tip section or something like that. And what I want to share real quick is how to apologize. This is something that I've mastered over decades of messing up. And so, having a good day, part of it is realizing that sometimes the reason you're having a bad day is because you made a bad choice, or you made a mistake, or something went the wrong way. I have a lot of experience apologizing. Part of it is because I like to joke around. But when you joke around, there's always the risk that it'll come out wrong. Even the intro for this show, I probably have to apologize for that because somebody's probably offended at that, right? I mean, if you joke around, there's always the risk you're going to accidentally say the wrong thing. It'll come out wrong. Somebody won't appreciate the joke, things like that. And so, many times because people, joking around is high risk, high reward in a sense, or relatively high reward. But there's a lot of people who actually think I'm very serious as a person because I only joke around with like family and friends, people who I know well typically, because I don't want to risk it if they don't know. And so many times I can be very serious when I'm just out in public or when I'm hanging out with people I don't know very well, because I don't like to risk messing up. You're on your best behavior, things like that. But really, we have to take the risk. You have to be willing to get to know people. We have to do things. So I want to do a very quick thing on how to apologize. I have a longer thing on this, I think on YouTube somewhere. I think I might have a full hour-long teaching on this, but this is going to be really, really quick. 4 tips for how to apologize. These may not all apply to every kind of situation, so just keep that in mind. Tip number 1 is apologize for what you did, not for how they reacted. This is where things get messy a lot. Many times people try to apologize and they just make it worse. So if you say, I'm sorry that you got so angry at what I just did, you didn't apologize. You just accused them of getting angry at what. So don't apologize for how they reacted. Apologize for what you did. Now, first of all, I have to make sure I don't jump ahead. All these have to be genuine. If you're faking it, none of these will work, okay? So you have to genuinely apologize for something that you genuinely agree. I think I shouldn't have done this. I did this wrong. So apologize for what you did, not for what they did, not for how they reacted, things like that. Tip number 2 is remember your only mission is to apologize. Just apologize and be done with it. Now is not the time to say, oh, and by the way, you also messed up. Are you going to apologize to me? Now's not the time to say, well, I'm waiting. I said I'm sorry. Aren't you going to say you're sorry too? I said I messed up. Aren't you going to say you messed up too? You're ruining your apology. If you mean it for real, just apologize for your part. My motto is even if something's only 1% my fault and 99% their fault, I'm still going to sincerely apologize for my 1% and not just point out their 99%. No, that's their business, not mine. So don't wait for them to say I was wrong too. That's where a lot of apologies turn into another argument. You've probably experienced this, right? I tried to apologize, it just turned into a bigger argument. Tried to apologize, now things are even worse than before. So I'm just never going to apologize. That's the wrong lesson to learn. Just get better at apologizing. Tip number 3 is let them know that you genuinely see a problem with your actions by explaining, here's what I did wrong and here's what I'll do to fix it. So it could be, here's how I'll make it right. I messed something up. I broke your thing. I broke whatever it is. I'm going to buy you a new one maybe. Sometimes you can't make it right. So sometimes you're just saying, here's what I did wrong and here's what I'll do to make sure it never happens again. Because if you're sincere, you're not just saying, I'm sorry, but it might happen again, it might not, who cares, depends what mood I'm in. Then you're saying, I'm going to do my best, I'm going to take steps to make sure this doesn't happen. Now these work at work as well. You know, at work, typically if you mess up, it's not like you're going to get fired immediately, especially if it's an honest mistake, you're trying to do something, you make a mistake. And so the best way to apologize at work, but even in marriage, in friendships, whatever else, is how am I going to make sure I don't do this again? Because that's the key thing. If somebody who works in my team, if they tell me, hey, I dropped the ball, I'm like, okay, I'm not too worried about whose fault it is. I want to find out, how do we never make this mistake again? So what new plan do we need? What new strategy do we need? Stuff like that. So number 3 is let them know you genuinely see a problem with it by explaining how you'll change it or how you'll fix it, if that makes sense. Tip number 4, and this is a big one, accept the consequences. Right? Don't demand that they accept your apology. Just because you apologized well and you were sincere does not mean that they have to accept your apology. So don't demand it. Don't demand that things go back to normal. Accept the consequences. Sometimes we may do something, right? You may get fired from a job. You may be volunteering and they say, we don't need you to help with that anymore. You may be an employee and they may move you out of that job or fire you completely. Maybe a relationship where they're like, yeah, I don't feel as close with you anymore, or whatever it is. There's many ways you can break trust. So access to somebody, access to a role, access in a relationship is totally separate from forgiveness. And so someone may say, I forgive you, but I still don't want things to go back to normal because, you know, I don't trust you with my finances because you stole from me, right? Things like that. So accept the consequences. You're saying, no, it's, I made this mistake, and whatever consequences you think are fair, I'll honor that as long as it's not some ridiculous thing that, you know, listen to the hour-long version if you want me to go more into the weird scenarios of stuff like that. So again, very quick summary is apologize for what you did, not for how they reacted. So avoid the phrase, I'm sorry that you. That you part, you're destroying it. You're not apologizing, you're just accusing them of something. So don't say, I'm sorry that you got so offended at what I did. That's not an apology. Number 2 was stay on point. You know, your mission is to apologize. Focus on that. Don't try to turn it into a discussion where they also apologize. Things like that. Tip number 3, tell them how you're going to make things different in the future. Number 4, accept the consequences. It may not go back to normal. It may take a while to go back to normal. So those are my practical tips on this. Again, sometimes it's in our control if we want to have a good day or not. And that's why I thought apologizing would be useful. You know, that's why in a previous episode we talked about how to give good compliments, right? Sometimes it's proactive, positive things, but sometimes it's how do I get back up after I've messed up? So I hope that's helpful. And today we have an incredibly special guest who I have to apologize to more often than I thought I would. Well, I'm very excited about today's guest. And so we've got Sara here, our producer from this show. And so she's going to be here in just a moment. We'll see you in a second.
You know, life is tougher than an overcooked $2 steak. But keeping a good attitude, well, that just keeps it all in perspective. How to stay positive in a negative world. Log on to GoodDayGTN.com to get your free copy today.
Well, welcome back. And like I said, I'm very excited about today's special guest. This is Sara Raal. Did I say it right?
Yes, that's how you said.
Now, you see her every now and then bring the challenges up here. But this show is as much hers as it is mine and Elizabeth's. It's really kind of like Sara is a key part of it. She's even in the skit being angry at me. That's not what she's like in real life. Now, this show, if it succeeds, she gets half the credit. But the first one got canceled, so I really feel like it's your fault, and you should explain. That's why I wanted you on the show.
Okay, great.
To talk about how you tanked me.
What actually happened, yeah.
I feel we didn't replace me.
Well, we didn't replace me either.
Yeah, that's true. Did we replace this, the pig or something? No, so she does so much for this show. And like I say, you all see me more, but really a lot of the running it and the games and everything we do and the guests and all these different things, all the preparation, the editing, the skit ideas, all this kind of stuff. Sara's a huge part of that. And so you're putting more hours into this than I am. You're like, yes, it's true. Anyway, so it's great to have you as a guest here.
Cool.
Finally, I can ask some tough questions about how to make our show better. No, just kidding.
Perfect.
No. Could you introduce yourself a little bit, though?
Yeah. I am originally from Austria, so I was born in Austria. My mom's Austrian. I moved to South Africa when I was pretty little. My dad's South African, so I grew up there, lived there most of my life. And then it's almost 2 years since I've been here. So I moved out to Colorado 2 years ago to attend 𝗙𝗵𝗵𝗀𝗀 Bible College, to attend my third year at Film and Production School here. So,
I think the first time I saw you, you were holding a boom mic for some 𝗙𝗵𝗃𝗃 stuff.
Yes, that's correct.
And so, you were a student, I think. And so then, how'd you end up becoming a producer? Because you're not just a producer of this show. I think you're doing 3 other shows?
5 altogether.
5 shows together. And I'm the best one, right?
Yes, I say that to everyone. No, I'm kidding.
So how'd you then work your way into, because the last year you were doing more with student activities.
Yes.
And now you're a producer for the network.
Yeah, so it's actually pretty funny. It's very ironic that I'm working in this media industry, because growing up, I received a couple of words that one day I will be involved in media. I just had no idea what that actually meant, because I was never a fan of social media. I never really was into social media. My parents pretty much allowed me to grow up watching, basically, if I wanted to watch TV, whatever I wanted to. But when I was about 12 years old, I just thought that I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy watching movies. I didn't enjoy watching any programs. So I kind of just never really went down that path. I was more interested in sports and things like that. So I didn't really have much time for those types of, I don't know, not a hobby, but just to,
You're going to say waste of time.
Yeah,
and I already said I like that stuff.
So, so basically, I never really grew up very interested in the entertainment industry, but obviously I've received a couple of words which just didn't make sense to me at all, so I kind of just put it on the shelf for a couple of years. And then initially I wanted to come here to do the year 3 practical government school.
Okay.
But it was about 2 months or 3 months before actually moving out here that I opened YouTube the one day, and then I came across a video, and it's about the year 3 film and production school. And I think the title was, "Do you have a passion for telling stories?" And then for some reason, I just clicked on it, and I opened the video, and I watched the promo for film and production school, and my baby on the inside leaped. I just knew this is where I was supposed to be, and these are the people I'm supposed to be with. And it was just such a drastic change, because I loved politics. Like, all my years, like growing up, I used to just enjoy watching the news and things like that. So yeah, I ended up signing up for film and production school, moved out here. I initially started in the performance track, and that only lasted about a month because Elizabeth convinced me. She initially wanted me to go to the film track, but we've got a couple of different tracks, and that was the one that I was interested in least, because I'm not technical whatsoever. But then I ended up in the film track, got to do editing, got to work on set, as you mentioned. I've been doing audio for the movie 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗃, which will, I don't know when that will be airing, but that will be coming up pretty soon, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
So yeah, I've been involved in that. And then Elizabeth wanted to keep me here as an international employee. So yeah, the first available job was for me to be a part of student events. And that was before any of this whole Gospel Truth Network was even, I think, considered or in discussion. But then, yeah.
So why do you?
that's you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no. You're
So you said you started in the performance track.
Yes.
If you'd stayed in that track, you might be in this chair, and I was
No,
and
no.
I'd be wearing my. No. So what was it that convinced you to switch from the performance side to the technical side?
It was honestly, I just, for some reason, I just got a desire because I was seeing the projects that they were working on. So they were working on 𝗙𝗵𝗃 way more intensely with all the equipment and cameras and lighting and everything. And that just kind of, it seemed so intriguing. So really, I don't know, I think I became a little jealous and I was like, I want to do that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, just setting aside, just putting myself aside because performance is something I was more comfortable with. And just stepping into the unknown of it's okay if I completely mess up or it's just a learning experience. So yeah, that's how I ended up in film track.
Yeah, I think life's full of curveballs because you're producing a lot of different shows.
Yes.
What all does that involve?
What does it involve? I feel like when people hear the title producer, they make such a big thing of it. But honestly,
Don't downplay
there's
it.
a lot. No, there's so much that goes into it, and I just know that. And this applies to any position that you're in. You have to be called, because when you're called, you're kind of empowered to do the things that you're called to do. It's a lot of long hours. I would say it's everything from content creation to scheduling people to making sure that once the vision is conceptualized in the development phase, that vision is maintained and passed on to the different departments. But you kind of oversee the process, the creative process of we're writing the script. So the script writer, for instance, works on that, and then you hand that script off to the director, and director comes up with the shot list and the sets and the whole feel and the look of things, and then you pass it on to the post-production team, for instance, and make sure that the post-production team accurately represents that vision, that initial vision. So you kind of feed it through all of these phases, all of these departments.
You're like the caretaker of the vision and walk it through the different steps of the process.
Yes, we're Elizabeth. I really like this analogy. In the beginning, when we just started, she said that these shows are our babies. So each one will have unique needs. They'll cry at different times, and you can't really work ahead that much because things can change on the fly. Things can change a couple of minutes prior to a film shoot.
You may cancel one and start another
right?
one.
You know what that's like. So no, there's I would say it requires you to be extremely flexible. It requires you to not be that attached to an idea. And the easier that you can do that, the easier you'll be able to actually work and be able to change things on the fly and solve problems right then and there. So yeah, there's just so many different things that go.
Then you have the
into
different
this.
hosts.
Different
And as much
hosts.
as I try to be low maintenance, I haven't up until now. I think I've been very high maintenance.
No, it's
Not the
not good.
case.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So I actually forgot we have a whole other segment. So
Oh,
we'll go a little bit over and we can edit out some of the stuff that didn't work.
Yeah, since I'm editing the show, I'll just know which pieces I do
You
not
let me know
want
how
to.
So you can edit out. So I'll give you more room to edit out stuff. Okay, so we have 3 practical tips for managing your time.
Okay, yep.
And do you have yours on a paper or you just remember them all?
Yeah, kind of
Okay.
memorized. I don't
So do you want me to go first or you?
You can go first.
Okay. So, and we'll go a little over and then you can edit as you see fit. So it's 2 practical tips.
Yep.
So my first practical tip for how to manage your time, and this was relevant because of your world, and actually, sorry to say, to what you're saying though, producing a show almost sounds like what I do for 𝗙𝗃, where it's very similar. It's kind of like you just make sure the different teams involved and kind of you keep your eye on the vision, the ultimate final experience
That's
and all
true,
that.
the vision, but also the timeline to make sure we hit the deadlines because they're coming up.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But
Yeah. I hear you're great at it from the other side. From my side, you're great at it. But there are other people who are also doing it. So yeah, it's interesting, especially since, so you're the producer for my show, but then you said you don't like TV. And so when you say it's a good show, I'm like, but you don't even like it.
No, I like this. Yeah, I've grown into, it's different having something that you're working on yourself because you get to experience it and be a part of it and see how it grows. So it's, no, it's really special.
Sounds good. And you're going to be a regular, right?
Sure.
Because you're already in the skit.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah. And today I was a little bit late. So it kind of played out.
I know the intro is perfect. The intro was prophetic to this morning. Like
Yeah.
everything just going wrong and you arriving late. Daniel, where are you?
And on my way home, I will have to hope I have enough gas to get to the gas station
Great.
because I didn't have time. I was like,
Oh, you had-
can I get gas this morning?
Oh,
No,
I
I'm running
thought you
late.
did. That's why you
No,
were
I
late.
didn't. No.
Oh, you didn't?
No, but I drove here without my wardrobe and stuff, so I had to
then
go
you
back.
had to go back.
Yeah. My wife ran out with my stuff.
You look like first you forget your kids and now you forget your wardrobe.
Well, and really last night I fell asleep on the couch after watching TV because some of us actually like the medium that we. Just kidding. No, so I forgot what I was doing. I fell asleep on the couch, so then I had to wake up at 3 a.m. and go to bed for real, and then I overslept.
Oh no.
So it was kind of like the intro.
Yeah.
It'll be inspiration for the next skit
Right,
for the
okay.
beginning. Okay, so 3 practical tips for managing your time. We did this for you because you're so busy, but based on my story, it's
Yes, I
probably for me
think
too.
it's applicable to you.
Yeah, so these are all things I'm going to start doing. My number 1 is write down how you spend your time.
Okay.
Because if it's vague, anything vague, confusion allows lies and deception to thrive. So if you write it down and you can look at it, you treat it just like money. If you don't know where your money's going, you'll always have money problems.
Yep.
You write it down, you look at it and say, is that how I want to spend my time or not? You can make decisions and make changes, but only if you know what you're doing. So first you need to see it in writing.
Okay.
That's my first tip.
Awesome. My first tip would be, the term I'll give it is pacing. So oftentimes I would say, well, this happens to me, and it's been a learning progress, especially because there's just so much going on lately. Like I'll come out of a meeting and there's so many tasks assigned, and then oftentimes because it's so recent and so fresh on your memory, you want to do everything right away. You just want to have the satisfaction of checking off the task, but then really just stepping back and saying, when is the due date? But then also in addition to that, what is is this a high priority or not?
Yeah.
Because oftentimes things will actually just solve itself.
Yeah.
Like you think, oh, I need to do this, but then just taking the time to actually evaluate when something is due and also what is the priority, that can kind of help you evaluate, and spend your time more wisely.
That's huge. Some people say if it takes 30 seconds or less or 3 minutes or less, do it immediately. And I find at the house that works, like cleaning up little things. But at work that does not work because then you're always distracted. And like I used to get about 100 emails a day.
Wow.
And I'd try to just prioritize that, and I had no time for other things. And I realized these emails aren't the highest priority. I need to get work on this project.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to ignore that a little bit, and maybe. And now I get to cheat because Alexis helps me and let me know if there's a really high priority email. But otherwise, it's like I need to ignore that and get this bigger thing done.
But
That's a
so
good one.
pacing, just being able to work, place it in your calendar according to that will be great.
Yeah. It's like, it is tempting. Sorry, we can talk about that. We're out of time already, so I'll go faster.
Oh,
You can trim
wow.
down my opening.
Oh, wow.
Trim that one down.
Okay.
From 30 minutes to whatever you wanted. Make this a two-parter.
great.
So my number 2 is prioritize and let go of some things. And so it's similar to what you were saying, but basically you can't do everything.
Yeah.
And so whether it's personal life or work or whatever it may be, if you treat your time like a budget and say, I only have so much, I can't have everything. I can't have it all.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I would love it if every day were 60 hours long. There's so many hobbies I want to have, so many things I'd love to do.
That's true.
And so you have to say, I have to prioritize, and I can't do it all. And so like I have certain hobbies where I'm like, I really enjoy that, but I haven't touched that in 3 months because I just don't have time. I have to choose, so for me, it'll be, okay, I've got my family time.
Yep.
So that's high priority. I'm not going to let that fall by the wayside. Then I have work, and then I'll have hobbies and, just different stuff like that. And so, prioritizing and then saying, I'm willing to let go of some things, because what happens is if you try to keep everything, then you don't enjoy any of it.
That's true.
And so even with work, sometimes you can't just let it go, but you can ask upline and say, hey, I have this much on my plate. I can't handle it. So which ones of these are most important to you? Not necessarily which ones are most fun for me.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Yep.
important. So that's my number 2. Prioritize and be willing to let go of some things.
My number 2 is similar to your number 1, and it's kind of detach. And what I mean by that is oftentimes, like when we just have a million things on our mind, we kind of just need to get it down on paper and separate the tasks from you and kind of just sober up your mind to look at it from a fresh perspective and not from an overwhelmed perspective. So really just writing it down, kind of detaching from it will help you also just to figure out what I need to do when.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you kind of lose track of time of like, I need to do everything at once.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Just take a breath, write it down, and then figure out from there what you need to do.
Yeah, because if you get overwhelmed, if you're like thinking of 10 things you have to do,
Right, yeah.
then you'll just be stressed out and now
Right.
you're less effective.
Yeah, and you're not going to get anything done because you're just worried the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, my last one is, I had a whole bunch of more serious ones,
Okay.
but I tried to go for the unusual ones.
Okay.
Is don't multitask. And what I mean by that, so this isn't so much about saving time, it's more about getting more out of your time. Is that, now I don't mean never multitask, but I'd say do it sparingly. Like if I'm driving, sometimes I enjoy listening to an audiobook or things like that. Washing
Yeah,
the
that's good.
dishes, I'll listen
Yeah.
to something. People right now may be watching this and they're doing the dishes or driving or whatever else. Hopefully not watching, but driving
No.
on a motorcycle, watching their TV. But what I mean by this is multitasking creates the illusion of maximizing your time, but actually you're just enjoying everything less. So if you do 3 things at the same time,
good.
then you're not enjoying any of them.
Yeah.
But we're trying to cram more into our day
Yeah.
than we can. And so we're tricking our brain to think we're productive, and actually we're stealing ourselves from enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like if you're playing with your kids and you don't have kids, me. If you're playing with your kids and you're on your phone doing work.
Yeah.
You think you're maximizing time, actually you're not enjoying your kids and you're not working well.
Yeah.
So things like that. It's like if you're reading while watching TV, you're not really enjoying your book and you're not really enjoying the show. And so again, there's a place for multitasking, but really I think one of the keys to maximizing your time is to really enjoy the things that you do. So if you do number 2, if you do fewer things, then you say, I'm going to do fewer things, but I'm going to really enjoy the things I do, and not just enjoy it, but pour myself into it.
That's good. I've actually realized I can't multitask because how I discovered this is when we were at Elizabeth's house cooking the one day. Each time, like I can do that. Like I can cut something and I can work on that, but as soon as Elizabeth wants to speak with me or someone wants to talk, I have to stop everything and talk. I could literally not multitask, do something while speaking to someone. Like
I can't walk and text.
Okay.
So I try
yeah.
to.
Yeah.
So I try and text while walking, and I usually end up stopping.
I've actually seen you do that, and then you just stand there.
I know people see me randomly in hallways just texting, and it's like, I am so fixated. I'm trying to do this, and I can't even trip. Like me tripping up on the stage.
Yeah.
In real life I trip all the time, but
Oh, man.
So we are out of time.
Oh no,
You have to come back by a little bit. We may have to cut a whole segment out or something. And now we've got 3 videos we're going to react to. No, just kidding, not today. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me,
It's
Daniel.
awesome working with you. But thank you all for joining us. You'll be seeing her around in all the different episodes, in the intro for all of them probably. But yeah, Sara's great. So yeah, thanks for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed your time with us. And we'll see you next time. And don't forget, today's going to be a good day. Bye.